You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7. If you think you're going crazy or losing your mind because you're seeing camels in southeastern Kansas, well, there's good news. You're not. There are camels in southeastern Kansas.
Also, one Oklahoma woman loses her life after a storm rolled through Delaware County.
We do have storm chances in our forecast. You can see the moisture starting to increase, and of course we'll have all the details on that in your weekend forecast.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
And I'm meteorologist Sam Lane, sitting in for Chris Warner this morning. It's 7 o'clock this Thursday morning.
Yes, it is. And yesterday was actually hump day.
That's right.
So it's fitting that our very own KOAM's Anthony Saviello brings us a story about camels in southeast Kansas.
A drive north of Pittsburgh on Highway 69 may not have much in terms of sightseeing, but if you're lucky, you may spot the Kramer farm. At first glance, it looks like your average, everyday farm, with cows, chickens, donkeys, and maybe a guard dog or two. However, there's one creature this farm has that makes it unique. Camels.
My favorite saying is that I was born strange and never changed.
Jim Kramer, along with his wife Nancy, provide a home for 12 camels and many other fun and exotic species. At 65, surrounded by such unique animals, Jim feels like a kid again.
We spend a lot of time with them. I mean, I spend a lot of time all year. I let them out here in the yard, some of them, and you know, they come up to me when I'm sitting in the chair, and you know, they lick on me, and you know, I pet them, and we just, you know, kind of, it's just a love thing. I mean, they know I feed them, and I think they know I care about them.
Caring for these animals is all Jim has ever done. A gesture that is not taken for granted by these amazing creatures. But the animals are just one part of what fills Jim's heart. It's also what his animals do for people in the community.
I went up to the boys and got the pigeon out, you know, and they wouldn't pet it. And I said, well, come with me and I'll show you something neat. A little later in the afternoon, both them boys were in there feeding every animal in the pen. And mother come up to me and thanked me. And, you know, that just made it all worthwhile.
These animals are a part of the Jim Kramer way of life. A life that will always be exotic and filled with joy. Whether it's camels, llamas, or even a kangaroo, these animals create the perfect life for Jim and Nancy. Reporting in Crawford County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
And the Kramers would like to note that their farm is private property, and to ensure the well-being of their animals, they want people to not pull over to enter the farm. You can, however, ask the Kramers to bring the petting zoo out to an event.
We'll give you the details on how you can book their business on our website. And yesterday was not only Hunt Day, it was also a very happy birthday to Anthony's dad. So happy birthday, John.
All right.
He's got quite an animal zoo there.
I'm really impressed. I might have to check that out. I'm a big animal lover, so that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, those camels might feel right at home with how dry it's been. You know, they're used to the desert. We need some rainfall in here, and unfortunately, we do not have any in the immediate future, but we do have some storms in our forecast for later on tonight. You can see on the satellite view, water vapor loop, you can see the moisture increasing from the north and west. And that's all part of a system that's going to be dropping down from the north and west tonight into our area. And that's going to increase the chances of showers and storms. But first, we have this afternoon to deal with a lot of smoke and haze on our smoke tracker. This is a result of fires in Canada being brought down on northwesterly winds aloft. So the sunshine today is going to be there, but it's going to be more of a hazy sunshine. Then as we go into tonight and tomorrow morning, the rain showers should take some of that out of the atmosphere, and so tomorrow we shouldn't have as much haze in the atmosphere. If you're heading out to the bus stop this morning, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s, so a beautiful morning to shape up across the area. And then this afternoon as we head home from school, a high of around 88 degrees with mostly sunny skies. And then if we take a look at the allergies, they're bad. Today, 10.6 out of a scale of 12. Most of that ragweed, chenopod, and nettle. And then tomorrow, a little bit better. And again, that's because of the rainfall that we're expecting tonight as we go through the forecast. Today, 83 for lunchtime, 86 at 2 o'clock, 87 at 4 o'clock. And looking down the lane, we have the smoky sunshine today, showers and storms tonight, and then a dry weekend. But we have more storms coming back into the forecast early part of next week, and I'll detail all that in just a little while. Caitlin?
Thanks, Sam. Well, one person was killed when Tuesday night's storm hit Delaware County, Oklahoma. Authorities say 73-year-old Judith Connor of rural Afton was apparently electrocuted. Connor was discovered by her roommate lying outside near her car. A preliminary investigation shows a live power line was lying on top of Connor's car, and authorities believe she may have touched her vehicle. Fort Scott firefighters battled a blaze yesterday afternoon. Fire crews were dispatched to reports of a structure fire on the west side of town shortly after 12 p.m. Fort Scott Fire Department arrived on scene and found a heavy smoke coming from the structure. Crews entered through the back entrance of the house and found the kitchen on fire. The fire was quickly and effectively put out before it could spread to other parts of the home. The home suffered major smoke damage, but no injuries were reported. And the good news, crews were able to save the dog from the fire. And we have an update on the deadly crash involving 3 motorcycles in Joplin Saturday evening. Initially, Joplin police stated they would be submitting 2 felony murder charges for 18-year-old Colton Goddard of Welch, Oklahoma. However, the Jasper County Prosecutor's Office decided to only file charges of felony resisting arrest by fleeing and operating a vehicle in a careless manner. During yesterday's arraignment, Judge Hensley set the bail at $25,000 with conditions that Goddard be placed on house arrest with an ankle monitor, and the defendant is not allowed to drive any motor vehicle or motorcycles. Colton Goddard pled not guilty to the charges. He bonded out of the Jasper County Jail and was released. His court date is set for October 31st, 2023. And this all stems from Saturday's deadly crash where Goddard and 20-year-old Taryn Morris of Miami were driving motorcycles at 80 to 100 miles per hour on North Main Street, fleeing police. Police officers say even after they abandoned a chase, the two continued speeding away, running multiple red lights. Their motorcycles crashed with another motorcycle driven by 6-year-old Mark McGowan of Miami, Oklahoma, as McGowan was driving out of a convenience store parking lot. Morris and McGowan both died in the crash. And one woman has died from injuries she suffered from a hit-and-run driver while changing a tire in northeast Oklahoma. The collision happened around 9 Labor Day evening, 2 miles east of Grove, Oklahoma. Troopers say 2 women were changing a flat tire when they were struck by a passing vehicle. The suspect vehicle continued westbound and is unknown at this time. One woman, Angela McManus, has died from her injuries. The other woman, Chandra Garndert, was transported to a local hospital in guarded condition with multiple injuries. And in Joplin, authorities report a hit and run involving an SUV and a bicycle. It happened around 10:30 yesterday morning near the 1600 block of East 7th Street. Authorities say an eastbound black SUV struck a man on a bicycle, then left the scene. The man suffered non-life-threatening injuries but was taken to an area hospital. The Tuthel Corporation has entered into an agreement to acquire Eagle Picture Technologies. Tuthel is a privately held business with a 130-year history of industry manufacturing. Eagle Picture designs, develops, and produces mission-critical power systems for the defense and aerospace industry. They have locations in Joplin, Seneca, and Pittsburgh. The transaction is expected to close this year. Up next, Chef Anthony steps back into the studio as he continues to make us some lover's pasta.
And later, a new study reveals that opposites may not actually attract. You're watching the KOAM Morning News right here on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Sarcoxie, Missouri, as today is Chief Sarcoxie's Days Festival. We'll return right after this.
Here we go. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. In our 6 o'clock show, we started making our lover's pasta, and now Chef Anthony has joined us again for the next step. So we already prepped all of our ingredients, if you will. Now what is next?
So we have our pasta. We've cooked it, cooled it, and set it to the side. Now remember, you can cook pasta off and hold it for 7 days in your refrigerator. Just put
That's
it in an
new news
airtight
to me.
container.
I didn't know that. So,
And then you have hot water. You just take out however much you need. You drop it in a basket, and you can blanch it and add it to whatever dish you're working on. So you can actually be wise about the week.
I love that.
So I have a hot pan with butter, and then we're going to add, first off, we're going to add some onion to it.
Our no-tear onions, by the way.
Yes.
We learned how to cut those.
We're going to add our onions and give it just a minute here. We want to try to get everything sizzling away just a little. And we're going to add a little bit of olive oil.
Okay. And it started with some butter, right? On the
Yes.
pan? Butter, onions, then oil.
Butter, onions, then oil, because you want to give a chance for the onions to soak up a little bit of that buttery flavor.
Who doesn't love butter?
We're going to use that, and don't use margarine. Use butter. Don't cheap out and do the margarine thing. Margarine in the long run costs more money because you have to use more of it. If you just use butter to begin with, you're going to save yourself a whole lot of heartache.
And the flavor.
And the flavor,
Can't go
of
wrong with
course.
the flavor.
You know, Julia Child said it right. More butter, more butter, more butter.
I love that.
So now we have everything kind of sizzling around just a little bit. We're going to start adding our peppers and our garlic. Now be careful, because those of you who've been around for a while remember my first segment. I was very emotional about this because the host at the time, Tanya, she distracted me and I rubbed my eye and squirted myself with a jalapeno. So
Wash your hands after handling the
yes,
spicy.
wash your hands
ingredients.
after you handle the spicy. And we're going to get everything coated with butter. Now we're going to start adding the really good stuff.
All right, let's see it.
We're going to start with some black pepper.
All right. Pretty hearty amount there. There it is. Sprinkle that on.
Sprinkle that on up in there. And then we're going to go right to the really, 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 really good stuff, the crushed red pepper.
My favorite.
Because if those who know, I know everybody's like, well, I get crushed red pepper with my pizza. Well, it's good, but try cooking with it, because as you cook crushed red pepper, it intensifies in heat.
Okay.
So you're starting to rehydrate all the pepper, rehydrate the seeds,
And
getting
the
all that
flavor,
capsaicin.
too.
The flavor's there. And if you want to go one step further, fire roasted bell peppers go insanely good in this dish.
Okay.
But if you don't have the time or the inclination to do fire roasted red peppers, then I would stay away from them. But you can see as everything's coming together, you can see how beautiful that dish looks. I mean,
That
it's
is beautiful.
absolutely gorgeous.
Well, I'm excited for the next and final step to see it all come together. Stay tuned. We'll have that coming right up. In Health Watch this morning, new research unlocks a surge in cancer cases among young people. A study published in BMJ Oncology analyzed data from 1990 to 2019 and found a 79% surge in new cancer cases in people under 50. In addition to genetics, the findings stated that a Western diet consisting of too much red meat and salt and subsequently not enough fruit and milk could also be putting young people at risk. Alcohol intake and tobacco use were also highlighted as cancer risk factors, as well as lack of exercise, high body mass index, and elevated blood sugar. And opposites apparently don't attract in the dating world. University of Colorado Boulder researchers say there's, quote, no compelling evidence that opposites actually attract. Their conclusion was reached after reviewing millions of couples cases spanning back 100 years. Instead, similar people are more likely to gravitate towards each other. The report's author said she analyzed 130 personality traits like political allegiance, religious beliefs, educational level, and substance use, and found that between 82 and 89% of the time, those traits tend to be exact. I beg to differ on that one, but we'll see. And if you like traveling but have difficulty adjusting to different time zones, a new study says that a good breakfast might help. Scientists from Northwestern University and the Santa Fe Institute in New Mexico created a mathematical model to examine how our internal clocks react to jet lag. The study found that meal times can help with a resetting of the circadian rhythm. Circadian clocks naturally regulates the body's sleep cycle and hormonal activity. The study found eating a large breakfast in the early morning hours of a new time zone can help fend off jet lag and help travelers get used to their new destination. And battling a life-changing disease can strip away a person's confidence and self-esteem. Alopecia is an autoimmune disorder that causes hair loss. A St. Louis woman diagnosed with the disorder is using art and fashion to help others recognize their beauty no matter the illness or circumstance. Melanie Johnson reports.
I don't want to be this way, but I'm not going to hide because I don't have a choice.
Pierre McCleary is one of 6.7 million Americans living with alopecia. It's a condition that attacks hair follicles, causing your hair to fall out. There's no cure, only treatment.
It changes my life daily because every day is different. It gives me a little bit more strength. It helps me to be more accepting and not judge. It also allows me to shine lights in dark areas.
A light she's bringing to others through her love of the runway.
Passion is what you are made to do. And this is my passion.
From kids to adults, on Sunday, alopecia awareness will be on full display on the catwalk for her 5th annual Hats Off to Alopecia fashion show. Half of them will be a walking testimony of embracing their beauty through this autoimmune disorder.
It's a platform where we express ourselves through the eyes of fashion, whether you got hair or you don't, whether you're hiding or you open. So it is a place that you have to be in.
With every strut, there's a story. The difference is making them stronger will take center stage at the Lavish at the Randall in downtown St. Louis on Sunday. For Pierre, it's not just a fashion show, it's a way of life.
You just have to be in the room to really feel what people go through, because you don't get this on the runway all the time.
Now let's take it over to Sam Lane with a look at your forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Caitlin. We are looking at mostly fair skies this morning. We do have some moisture starting to increase in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that's ahead of a short wave trough that's going to be moving down tonight and tomorrow morning. But this afternoon, we're going to be dealing with a lot of ragweed out there, so if you're sniffling, that's probably why. Also chenopod and nettle. Tomorrow, there'll be an improvement because of the rainfall expected tonight, so washing some of that out. Your UV index today is going to be around 8, which is still high. A lot of that is going to be hazy sunshine this afternoon because of the smoke in the atmosphere, so about 20 to 25 minutes of burn time, so make sure that you are taking the proper precautions. Coming up, Freeman Health Center celebrates its annual Patient Engagement Days. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Sarcoxie, Missouri, as today is Chief Sarcoxie Days Festival. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, and we are almost done with our Lover's Pasta. Join with me is Chef Anthony. So now we are on the final stages.
Yes.
Tell us what we need to do from here.
We're going to go from here. We're going to add some of our pasta to our basket of boiling water. So we're going to take this. Oh, I think that'll work. And we're just going to drop it right into this basket.
Oh, that's convenient.
Right into our hot water. And we're going to swirl it around a little bit. Now, we're not going to cook a whole lot of this. It's already cooked. We're just warming it up. So
is the noodle then al dente?
The noodle will be nice and al dente.
Okay, and then do you cook it in the actual?
Well, it's with that little bit of flash, we'll have it ready to go.
I love that.
So we're going to add it right to our pan.
Beautiful.
Give it a little bit of a mix, a little toss.
There's that money shot. Bam!
And then right to our plate.
Wow. And look
Just
at
like
that. Lovely. So this is a great treat for us to try out. It's beautiful.
And if you want to go with a little bit more, I like to add a little bit of salt to it. So I'll use my grated Parmesan and just give it a little bit of a coating like so. And the salt from the grated Parmesan, especially if you use a really good one, is definitely there. If you want to shave Parmesan into it, buy a little wedge of Parmesan and shave it right over the top. It's going to be absolutely stunning. A little saltiness, a little acidity, a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweet.
It's
all
amazing.
the way around.
And literally, I mean, how long, if we didn't have our commercial breaks?
If we didn't have the commercial breaks, with pasta already done, you can do this in 6 minutes.
Okay, super easy, beautiful meal. I feel like I'm already falling in love with you, so that must be
There
why
you
you're
go.
calling it La Pasta. Because, I mean, this really is a beautiful, beautiful dish.
Well, I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, thank you. And Chef, what would we like to pair this with for an evening drink to make
If you're
them
doing this,
really fall in love?
A margarita works best because of the acidity inside of a margarita and the little bit of citrus inside of it come together really well. Stay away from beers, stay away from reds.
Okay.
Sweet wines, you could do sweet and spicy with it. So you could do like a Moscato d'Asti.
That's lovely.
Would go really well with something like this. Just a little bit on the sweet side. It'll balance out against the heat. Stay away from the beer, stay away from the water, and no milk.
No milk. Milk was a bad choice. Well, it's the perfect meal for date night.
Is.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chef.
Of course.
Can't wait to have you back next time.
All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, and you stay tuned. We have more news here at KOAM Morning on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Freeman Health System celebrated its annual Patient Engagement Days. The celebration, now in its 10th year, presented a way for Freeman to make the lives of dialysis patients a little easier. The day featured barbecue, barn dancing, prizes, and booths providing health resources.
Have everything from mental health resources, transplant resources, home care. We even have the therapy dog here today. So we have a little bit of everything here, just any kind of resources we hope that they could need.
The celebration continues today from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And MSSU celebrated Commuter Appreciation Day. The celebration highlighted the hundreds of students who live in surrounding communities and off campus. Students could find community groups and MSSU organizations in the parking lot where they made their services and information available.
So we decided to target our commuter students because they make up over 70% of our student population, and we've never done anything just for them before. So we wanted to have some things specific to them for their cars, and then they can also scan in for prizes, bigger prizes like gas cards.
The day included drawings and giveaways, as well as an education tent for basic car maintenance demonstrations.
All right, we're looking at a beautiful morning shaping up across the 4 states with moisture starting to increase. You can see that on the water vapor loop. Quite a bit of cloudiness and moisture up to the north and west. That's all part of a piece of energy that's going to be diving down across our area tonight and tomorrow morning, and that's when we're going to see the rain chances increase a little bit. We also have a lot of smoke in the atmosphere this morning, and that's because of the wildfires in Canada being brought down from the north on those northwesterly winds aloft. Now, as we go through time, that's going to be dissipated a little bit as precipitation starts to take some of those smoke particles out of the atmosphere, and by tomorrow we should start to see a decrease in that. Your bus stop forecast looks like this. This morning, as you're sending the kids off to school, about 63 degrees. Right now, and then as we head through the afternoon, as they come home from school, we're looking at a temperature of about 88 degrees. I'll have a complete look at your weekend forecast coming up in just a little bit. Caitlin?
The former Joplin Public Library is under new ownership. The old Joplin Library on Main Street has a new owner, and they have some big plans. The Creative Learning Alliance bought the old library to build an interactive science center. Their goal is to help people of all ages learn about technology, engineering, arts, and math. As Mayor Lawson handed the key over to the Creative Learning Alliance, he said this will benefit the community.
We've got a wish list of exhibits, and those are going to come with money, with a price tag attached. So we're working on our capital campaign so that we can make some of those a reality, but everything will be hands-on. Everything will be learning, and everything, most importantly, will be fun, because that's the job of childhood, is fun.
This building has been here for a number of years now, and we wanted something positive to happen, and today something positive is happening.
As of now, the Creative Learning Alliance says they hope the Science Center will be up and running by 2025. Special Olympics athletes in Pittsburgh teed off in a competition. It was called Unified Golf. It paired golfers with intellectual disabilities with those who don't, and the pairs each played 5 holes with a 10-stroke limit per hole. Officials say it's a great way to help the athletes build relationships.
Today is really all about that inclusion aspect, all about building relationships, all about socialization. I feel like it is just as important for the athletes and their partners, both of them individually, because it gives them a space and a realm to really build those connections with each other.
Special Olympics Kansas will also host a duck and jeep derby at Gorilla Village on Saturday. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We'll learn more about an upcoming homecoming parade happening in Mapleton, Kansas.
Plus, you're looking at a little bit of fog out there this morning, also a little bit of smoky haze. I'll have a complete look at your forecast, including a look at the weekend when we come back. But first, here's a live look at Sarcoxie, Missouri, as today is Chief Sarcoxie's Days over in Sarcoxie, Missouri. The KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 continues.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in studio today is Michael Scavuzzo, and he's here to tell us all about an upcoming parade happening in Mapleton, Kansas. Michael, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, so you were just telling me a little bit about this. This is pretty cool what you guys are doing in Mapleton.
Yeah.
So tell us about this great parade and why you're doing it.
So we have a parade every year called Mapleton Day Parade. We're very excited about the homecoming. We always have prizes for people that enter in the parade itself. We have raffle giveaways. We've got petting zoo, bounce house. We've got we raffle away plane rides, the whole 9 yards. Now, what's really exciting this year is the fact that Mapleton, for anybody that's heard of us, has kind of been known as a distant neighborhood of Fort Scott and Mound City over in Bourbon County. And this year, we're actually growing quite a bit. So we have a gas station going in, a market, a restaurant, and a number of other businesses. So we're inviting everybody to come out and check it out. Saturday night, we've got the street dance where we'll have a live band, drinks, food, the whole 9 yards. That's more of an adult friendly. And then Saturday all day, the parade, we've got free food. We've got lots of different booths, lots of giveaways, lots of fun for the whole family.
That's incredible.
So we're just super excited.
I mean, and you guys want neighboring community members to come and check out
we'd love
your little hidden gem you have over there.
Each year we've kind of tried to expand a little more and more, and this year obviously we're coming down here, so the more people we get, the better it is. Last year we had a few hundred people show up, and it's a lot of fun. You don't want to miss this, especially this year. We're going to have a lot of fun this year.
And where can people go to learn more about this? Is there a Facebook page?
So you can get on Facebook. I'm honestly, to be just straightforward with you, I'm not sure the Facebook page, but we'll have some things on. We'll have this broadcast. We will do some promotions on Facebook and some other things. But if you look up Mapleton, Kansas, it's right there. Mapleton Market's right there at 423 North Bourbon. In Mapleton, just to give you an address, once you get there, you'll kind of see the town, see the brand new park. We've got brand new park equipment. Our mayor, Greg and Sandy Post, have been huge benefactors in getting everything going for us. Wanted to throw them out there because they've really led this whole thing and really gotten us to where we are now.
How big is the city of Mapleton?
So inside the town, I believe we're at 96.
Hey-oh, that's great.
But we also have Hidden Valley Lake is in Mapleton, and so we don't really count that in there because it's outside of the city limits. And a lot of our residents are farmers and ranchers, and Timber Hills Lake Ranch is there. A lot of people are familiar with that.
I mean, this is quite the production for a city of 96.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, they're offering private jet rides. This isn't your average passing through kind of event. This is really big.
You know, when you live in a world and you don't necessarily agree with some of the things that are happening, we learned that the best way to do it is kind of recreate your own town. And as a community, we've always stuck together, and we believe in that small town pride. And with that, we said, you know what? Instead of living into a world we don't necessarily agree with everything, let's recreate our own.
I love that. That is so cool. Well, make sure you guys check out the Mapleton Parade happening this weekend. We'll be right back after these messages.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the KOA Morning News on Fox 14. It's a beautiful morning shaping up across the area, including Indigo Sky Casino and Resort down in Seneca, Missouri. Taking a look outside right now in Pittsburgh, it's 57 degrees with a calm wind on Highway 169 there. and a dew point of 55, humidity at 94%. Visibility down to 4 miles. There's been a little bit of patchy fog out there. Nothing on radar right now, but that's going to be changing as we go through the forecast. But look at these temperatures this morning. Very, very pleasant. 54 in Fort Scott, 55 in Iola, Chanute, Neodesha, 59 in Independence. Then you start getting into the 60s in Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas, where they're currently sitting at 63 degrees over there in Bentonville. Looking at the dew points, very comfortable. Lower 50s up to the north. Then you start getting into the 60s, but still not bad as far as the dew point tracker. And that's going to be feeling pretty good today, as the feel-like temperatures are going to be in the 80s today and tomorrow and even into Saturday. So at least we're not having to deal with a lot of heat index values over the next few days. Rain chances are going to be dramatically increasing in the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning. That's when we have this little weak wave moving in from the north and west, and that's going to increase our chances of showers and storms tonight. And then by tomorrow morning, those should start to move away down to the south and east. Matter of fact, looking at the rainfall amounts, generally around 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch expected with that. Some models are forecasting even less with that, so hopefully we'll get at least a little something in the rain bucket. Temperatures this afternoon are going to be in the upper 80s to lower 90s, and then we're going to see those scattered showers and storms moving across tonight into tomorrow morning with lows in the 60s. And then over the next 7 days, we're going to see a nice drier weekend with temperatures in the 80s and more storms early part of next week.
All right, Sam. Well, don't call him a dirty rat. Not Sam. This guy. He's just promoting the Big Apple in a very creative way. He's making New York City's rodents internet celebrities and showing visitors where they can find the city's vermin.
Of course, this story can only come from Jeannie Moos.
Move over, TikTok.
Here we go.
Oh. It's Rat Talk. Rat Talk's a scream. Featuring regular nighttime excursions to record New York City rats dodging the feet of pedestrians, or better yet, colliding with them. Descending like a fireman.
Look at this. Oh my God.
Down a pole. Some fans are so into it that instead of visiting the Empire State Building or Lady Liberty, they'd rather take liberties with rats by arranging a rat tour, like this Pennsylvania man who grabbed a rat's tail at a construction site in Queens. The guy who runs Rat Talk is no rat-loving Willard.
They'll do anything I tell them. Turn up.
Do you have a thing for rats?
Absolutely not. I don't like rats at all.
Kenny Bulwark started streaming rats live on TikTok so he could rat them out to the city of New York for extermination. But then his videos started drawing fans. How could they not when you can see Kenny's friend Mario show up with a fishing rod?
Hey buddy, how they biting?
Oh, they were biting. He caught a rat. Well, he didn't catch a rat. What happened?
Yeah, so we threw the bread out there on the wire. There was no bait or hook or anything like that, so we weren't trying to harm it. It was just kind of just for fun.
Like I went on!
And since out-of-towners seem excited to see rats,
my first rat experience in New York,
Kenny started offering free rat tours.
Make their memories.
See them fight over a bagel, feel them run between your feet. Even a New York City rat knows.
If I can make it there, you know I'm gonna make it anywhere.
Jeannie Moos, CNN.
New York.
New York.
Only
New York. Only New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do, include start a rat business. Good for him.
All right, well, we'll be back with more right after this.
Yeah. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in studio today is Amy Kaufman and Jim Jenkins. They're here to tell us all about an upcoming job fair in Baxter Springs, Kansas. Welcome to the show, you both.
Good morning. Thank you.
So tell us, why are you putting on this job fair?
So we've recently had some layoffs in Baxter Springs, and there's a company, that National Safety Apparel, that was affected, and they have 71 people that were being laid off. So on the 29th of September, we'll be having a job fair to help all of them find some new...
The 12th of September.
12th, excuse me.
The 12th of September.
Employer, excuse me. Find new employment.
Okay, and what kind of jobs are you guys going to be hiring for there?
So they're mainly a manufacturing facility. So we went out and recruited employers that have that do manufacturing around the three-state area, basically. So.
Yeah, so we have employers coming from Kansas, from Missouri, and from Oklahoma.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the whole 4 states.
Yes, we do.
Are you allowed to say any of the names of some of these employers, or do you want to keep that a surprise?
Sure. There's just some local employers. Midcon Cables is one of them. They'll be there.
Bagcraft is another.
Bagcraft will be there as well.
But we're looking for more employers. So
Yeah.
if we have any employers and they have open positions, we would love to have them sign up to be part of our job fair. It's free to have a table and advertise their hiring.
Yep.
Wonderful. And so for the people that are looking for a new job, what do you recommend that they come with? Do they need a resume? Should they be dressed professionally? What are some tidbits for them?
Dress for success. Bring their resume. If they need interviewing skills or if they need some help learning how to interview prior, they can stop by the workforce centers in Pittsburgh and we can help them do that. We can teach them those skills. So.
Yeah, so the first hour of the job fair is going to be for laid off workers, displaced workers, and also veterans. And then after that, it'll be open to the public. So anyone can come. If you're looking for a job, bring your resume, bring your skills and your smile, and talk to some employers.
Yeah.
And are you hoping to keep the economy going? Is that like kind of a reason you guys were motivated to do this? Keep
Absolutely.
it local?
Well, right now our unemployment rate is pretty low, and we want to keep it that way. So we want to keep anyone who wants to be working, who wants a job, we want to help them find that employment and do those things.
And how can someone sign up to attend this?
They can stop by the workforce center. They can call the workforce center in Pittsburgh and we can get them registered.
Oh, that's
also, they can check out Facebook pages for the Workforce Center, for the Economic Development Corporation, and also for the Baxter Chamber of Commerce. So all of those places on our Facebook pages should have links.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys. Sounds like it's a great opportunity. Help people get jobs and help out some employers, get some amazing new candidates.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We have more news coming up right after this. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Fort Scott firefighters battled a blaze yesterday afternoon. Fire crews were dispatched to reports of a structure fire on the west side of town shortly after 12 p.m. Fort Scott Fire Department arrived on scene and found a heavy smoke coming from the structure. Crews entered through the back entrance of the house and found the kitchen on fire. The fire was quickly and effectively put out before it could spread to other parts of the home, and the home suffered major smoke damage, but no injuries were reported. One person was killed when Tuesday night's storm hit Delaware County, Oklahoma. Authorities say 73-year-old Judith Connor of rural Afton was apparently electrocuted. Connor was discovered by her roommate lying outside near her car. A preliminary investigation shows a live power line was lying on top of Connor's car, and authorities believe that she may have touched her vehicle. The former Joplin Public Library is under new ownership. The old Joplin Library on Main Street has a new owner, and they have some big plans. The Creative Learning Alliance bought the old library to build an interactive science center. Their goal is to engage people of all ages with hands-on learning in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. As Mayor Lawson handed the key over to the Creative Learning Alliance, he said this will benefit the community.
All right, looking at your forecast today, hazy sunshine today with a high of 88. Then storms develop late tonight and tomorrow morning with a high of 86 on Friday. Drier for the weekend and more storms early part of next week.
Well, cheers, because today is National Beer Lovers Day.
The origin of brewing beer actually predates recorded history back to ancient Egypt and possibly much earlier. Beer is also a well-known part of the American history story.
Virginia colonists brewed beer with barley, malt, and hops, and George Washington recorded a recipe for brewing beer in his notes. Whether it's an IPA or a PBR, you can celebrate the day on social media and photos of your beer of choice with the hashtag National Beer Lovers Day. All right, well, there's one more thing to celebrate.
That's right. Thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back later with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your day.